Louder!
Show me the money!
That's it, brother, but you got to yell that shit!
Show me the money!
I need to feel you, Jerry!
Show me the money!
Jerry, you better yell!
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Thank you so much for joining us today at Real Business Roundtable. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. No, for real. Today we're going to talk about everyone wants the view, but not the climb. So everyone wants the penthouse, but not the work. No one wants to put in the time, but they want the quick money. Not how it works. You know what I mean? It's not that easy. Take it from some, fucking guys who have worked pretty fucking hard to do some shit. It's not that easy. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for
Get.
End of the day, yo, this is the last episode we're recording today. It's been a long week. Sometimes your just brain turns into mush and you don't want to talk that much. That's why I feel like we should record on Mondays. But you know what? Fridays is cool too, because now I get to look forward to the weekend. Relax. Try not to think about business, even though I'm going to be thinking about sales and business and operations and money. But we're recording on Friday. It's been a long week. But today, like I mentioned, we're talking about
People want the view,
but not the climb.
not the climb. They see you. If you're in business, you'll see who the players are in your industry who are doing really well. And even with myself, like I just got off the phone with a guy that runs a similar company as me. And he was talking about how he was spending $100,000 a month on promotion. Okay, hey, respect. That's awesome. There's people that in your industry that are at different levels, and then you got the super reserved guys, and you got like the medium guys, and then you got the real wild guys that are or girls that are just really just aggressively investing into growth. But remember, those moves and the guts to do those things, it's not easy. It's not a cakewalk.
Time. It takes time.
Get out of your cradle. It's time to walk. It's time to run. It's time to sprint. Sometimes we'll get people who are competitors to some of our clients. Mm-hmm. And they'll go, hey, what are you doing with Joe? And I'm like, well, this is what I'm doing with Joe. How much is that? And I get into it and they're like, oh. And it's like, why are you asking me if you don't have the guts or the motivation or drive or senses to just stop. Just stop where you are. Just don't huff and puff. I can't stand that. If someone asks, hey, what did it take to get to the peak of the mountain? Well, I had to put on boots. I had to prepare for the weather. I had to put on a jacket. I had to put on multiple layers to survive the weather. I had to drink protein shakes, a granola bar.
Drink protein shakes to get rich.
I had to drink a granola bar. I had to pack a tent on my back. I had to climb the mountain. I had to make pit stops.
Lost my shoes a couple times.
I had to make pit stops. I had to deal with the cold. I had to deal with the wind. I had to deal with the chapped lips. I got the cramps. My legs hurt. You following me? There's a struggle. Oh, how did he get to the top of the mountain? And then they envy and they, oh, look at what he did, right? It took a struggle. It took an investment of time, muscle energy, food, a Cliff Bar to get to the top of the mountain. Energy, effort, right? Same in business. You got to run those ads. You got to work on your organic positionings. You got to make sure you're getting traffic. You got to make sure you're relevant in your industry.
Get through the trials and tribulation. You got to really push. You got to. The thing is with me is like, I never, I don't like. I don't know. Like the thing is people are always posting like shit, like they're in a penthouse and they're driving these cars and, all this shit. But no one really posts the actual building blocks of becoming successful.
That's a piece that I think people are like,
They miss out on, and it creates a lot of it creates a lot of envy and jealousy, and jealousy is the killer of passion. You know what I mean? It's just, there's, you know, you can't be stuck in a place where you want to do something and you're like, you know, you don't know where to go, or you feel lost maybe, or, you know, you see all these people online doing things that you want to do and you just don't know how to go. The whole thing is you don't see the time and work and investment and risk, and you don't see the process. You don't see the dark times. You don't see any of that. You just see the top, and you think, you know, this is a get rich quick thing. It's not. Nothing is really a get rich quick.
yeah, when you see fitness people, they had to go through a struggle. People want to look a certain way. They want the abs. They want the striations, the shoulders, boulder shoulders, right? But the discipline and the diet and sometimes other stuff that they have to go through and put their body through to achieve that type of physique, it's not easy at all, you know? So I have anybody that achieves something in life, I have the utmost respect for them, because I'm thinking in my head, what did they go through to achieve that? And that's the piece, is that climb. A lot of people don't realize that, and they just see the glory.
Yeah, of course.
They just see they just see the top of the mountain, and it's like, dude, do you have any idea what I went through? Like, they just like, even just starting a business and trying to build it. And like, when I go back in my mind and I think of all the shit,
It's like
all the fuckery and just the
everything. Just even like, we're building a business right now, right? We're building a business. We're in a really, really good position, and we're building a business, and we're going through
we're building
three. I mean,
we're building 3 companies right now as we speak.
Yeah, and we're going through this is the thing. We're in a good position because we built a business before that provides money to live and invest on. Now we're building another 3 businesses, and we're going through the fucking ringer. We're going through the fucking ringer.
Yeah, totally.
It's like,
totally unnecessary too. It's like, you know, it's like I'll speak cryptically, but it's like,
listen,
what?
In a year.
Oh my God.
No.
It's like, what? Wait, hold on. What?
If in a year or two, I can tell you right now.
He's the Joker.
In a year or two, right now, from now in a year or two, we're not going to be dealing with any of this stuff. And we're going to be in a position where people are going to see us in a really great position.
People are just...
And you just don't see
people
it.
People are taking things way out of context.
No, let's not even talk about that.
It's just like, yeah.
Let's not even talk about that. But you need to understand, people need to get, and I'm talking to like a younger audience, because people who are older and they've experienced things, they know this. But people who are younger, there is no like, yes, if you're lucky, which some people are lucky, which is phenomenal. It's great. Good for them. You can get very wealthy very quickly. It's also lost very quickly. It's also not managed properly. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of moving parts. And, you know, people get lucky. Like I said before, you got Bitcoin billionaires. You got all these dudes running around, a bunch of money. That's cool.
Yeah.
But for long-term, generational wealth, really, you know, to build wealth, it takes a lot of fucking work and time and, you know, all that stuff. And I guess I kind of want to help people understand that not everything you see is real. You know, everyone wants that view. Everyone wants that penthouse. Everyone wants that beautiful house and whatever. But no one understands the climb and the trials and tribulations it took to get to that place.
Yeah. So, and you have to have, a lot of people give up. Not really in my nature. I can get pissed off, but I won't give up. I'll keep pushing forward. I'll make tweaks. I'll make changes, adjustments, right? Adjustments, move. Cameron. You're going to do that and you're going to replay it. I'm talking about knobs or
Making
talking about
macro and micro adjustments.
I'm referring to
Knobs.
radio knobs.
Knobs.
Or no,
knobs.
these things. Slide.
We're making adjustments. Look.
We are modulating.
Yes.
You're messing up the recording now.
No, none of these do anything.
So
See? Nothing. They're
we
muted.
make an adjustment here, an adjustment there, and we fine tune things.
Pivot here. Pivot there.
Part of that is the climb.
You've reached a goal. Now you got to move on to the next.
If you hit that roadblock in business, don't throw up your hands and give up. Work through it. Work past it. I say that all the time. Figure out how to adjust. Don't give up. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule, right? There's certain situations that you gotta change completely. Nobody's using VCRs anymore. Okay. There's no VCR. Everything's streaming now. Okay, then that situation,
Pivot. That's a pivotal. That's a pivot thing that you do with your business.
but you don't have to cry.
No, don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. You see all these people who are really built wealth, which I respect a lot online, and you see them say, just do it, just keep going, just keep pushing. It's fucking hard, just keep going. That's all you got to repeat that in your fucking head. You see what you can imagine, your dream in the future of what your life looks like. Feel that lifestyle, feel that moment, that dream. Time just hasn't caught up to that yet. Have that mindset, because if you keep pushing and keep doing, this is the same thing that every successful person has gone through. And then you distribute work and you do all that stuff and you grow and you delegate and you do all these things and all these steps to really build something great. But all these different hard things, the bumps in the roads, the trials, the tribulations, all that stuff, I've said it like 3 times. That's all a storm, and you appreciate the sun a lot more when you go through that storm.
I would say one of the challenges in business is, especially if you're in a people business, is dealing with all the different personalities, and sometimes because not everyone is like you, or there's going to be people who just dealing with all the different personalities, whether it's retail or whatnot, you got to kind of maneuver. And when you're in business, you'll deal with some interesting cats, some interesting characters, and some wild things. Stuff I won't talk about on the show, but it just, when you're in business, you have to have that patience. Mm-hmm. That if you deal with someone that just says something or does something from Pluto, you got to take a breath. You got to take a step back and don't react, but you got to be more calculated with how you do things. It's not like it's the street where you can say, hey, fuck off or whatever. You got to, that's interesting. You're like, someone's like, hey, someone says something wacky, right? In business, and someone says something wacky or does something strange. You got to, interesting. You just got to be more diplomatic about things. Yeah. And it's not, like I said, it's not like the street. It's not like everyday life where you can just freely just whatever. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's not like that. And you got to be careful, and you got to operate in a certain way, in a certain fashion when you're in business, because you could really fuck shit up by overreacting. And you can't.
It's just,
you gotta.
One thing I also want to mention too is it's all a learning process. When I first started, I remember my first ever meeting when I decided I wanted to do what I do now. My first ever consulting meeting, I remember it. And they might even be watching this because they're great people. I had no fucking clue what I was talking about.
Oh my God.
No idea. But I knew that I am like a sponge. And when I want to do something, I'm a perfectionist and I do it and I make sure it's done right. Obviously, mistakes happen. things happen, whatever, move on. But I remember my first ever meeting I ever went into, and I was talking about a bunch of different stuff. I was with one of my good friends who is a great friend of mine. Today we were talking about this the other day. It was me and my buddy. We were in that meeting. But the thing that I'm trying to, the point that I'm trying to get to is like, it's a lot of learning as well. And you got to make sure that while you're doing this, if you're in the corporate world or if you're in business or if you're an entrepreneur, whatever you're doing, there's a learning process to everything. As Andy mentioned before, learning how to maneuver people, learning how to speak to people, learning who to partner up with, who not to, strategic partnerships, how to treat people in a certain way. That's one major thing. Because you don't want to be that person who's taking advantage of people, not giving back. There's a lot of lessons learned within the process. It's all a learning experience. I will never stop learning. That's one thing for me, is I will never stop learning. I was literally on the phone with you and one other person yesterday, and I was having a revelation because I'm learning this new thing about a certain thing, and I was like, oh my God, I've been missing this piece the whole time. I finally understand it now. Let's fucking go. And then I use that to benefit a potential partnership. And so, everything is a learning experience. And that's one big takeaway from, building yourself up, building a business. Always learn. You never be an expert in the thing that you're doing. If you're selling something, be an expert. If you're managing operations, be a fucking expert in it. Be better than anyone else, but always continue to learn, because knowledge is power at the end of the day.
There's nothing wrong with looking under the hood and understanding what is it you're doing, what are the intricacies, what are the details, what are the options, who are the competitors, who are the lightweights, who are the heavyweights, what's going on, who has access to what, who doesn't have access to what are some things out there that you could bring to market that really no one else is doing. Think outside the box. Sometimes you can make that climb a little bit easier if you try to source things that maybe are new, cutting edge, different. Mm-hmm. I always say network with super smart people that build amazing things. They might not be advertisers, marketers, salespeople, but there are some tools and stuff out there that you could probably find and discover and go, wow, you don't have a sales guy? Oh yeah, we made this widget and it does this. And I say, okay, let's
do something with it.
Let's partner up and make a company out of this. Like that's and then if you have something that exists that's really effective, the world's your oyster, because now you don't really have a ton of competitors, and now you have a very special place in the market where you have this edge, and you can actually separate yourself from any other contender that is sort of in the similar box, but you provide way more value, way more efficacy, way more performance. And that's really like what it comes down to when you're trying to build a business, is you can't just keep working and climbing. While you're climbing, you got to think strategy. So for example, the guy climbing the mountain, he's thinking about, am I hydrated enough? Do I have a flask of water to last this trip? Do I have my Cliff Bar and my protein shake? Do I have the calories required to burn to achieve the mountain climb?
Do I have a guide to show me the way to maneuver different trails? That's also extremely valuable.
Business is the same effing thing. Mm-hmm. And I always say it's like being a captain of a ship, and you have your sails and all that stuff, and you're saying, okay, we're gonna move the sail this way. Running a business is very much like running a ship.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
There's so many different there's so many different like things you get to, like climbing a mountain. I mean, there's so you fucking run into a mountain lion. Yeah. Oh fuck. You guys are fucked.
And you're gonna have the deck help, the deck help of the ship, the deck help that's solid, that will do anything to make sure that ship gets to its destination. And then you
get through that storm.
Then you're gonna have not so team players.
Yeah.
And that's a part of business. You're gonna get some people that you keep, you're gonna get some people that you gotta part ways with, and you just kind of work through it. And there's the same thing with clients. You're gonna have really good clients, you're gonna have kind of clients and shitty clients.
No, you got to make sure you're partnering up with the right people. There's this. Okay, we keep ramble on about this shit all fucking day long. At the end of the day, we talk about this shit all the time. We're both successful guys. watch our podcast, learn, be a sponge, learn everything you can from the things that we say, even if they're not structured the best way. Just, we talk about this stuff all the time. Take some of our advice, take more advice from other people in certain industries, build that fucking business, and then you got the view. And then you go for the view in the different state, and then a different state, and you get more houses, and you get more this, and you keep building, keep learning, keep doing, keep achieving greatness. Thank you so much for joining us today on Real Business Roundtable. Please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications to get notified every single time we post an episode. Check us out on Instagram for updates and more. Peace out.